What's up, my friends? It is Daniel Gallows, of course, and welcome back to yet another vlog, of course. Now here's something that was on my mind today. Here's something that I really want to talk to you guys about. Wanted to come in here, turn the camera on, and just kind of get this off my chest, of course, like I always do. I just got off work, like a couple hours ago or so, and something happened to me that reminded me why I hate living in apartments so much, and I just wanted to come in and make a video about it real quick, because I just, it's, living in apartments kind of sucks. It really does when it comes down to it, because there's a lot of things that go wrong, but mostly it's the other tenants that live here. That's definitely a big part of it. I know ever since I moved into this apartment, I've had problems with the people that live upstairs. I mean, like, they just will not be quiet. And they've actually been told numerous times, I've actually reported to the landlord and stuff like that, and they've actually been told numerous times that they need to be respectful. The walls are very thin, so you need to be quiet and respectful of all the people around you, and they just don't. And I've been dealing with that since I moved in here. I dealt with it with the last neighbors, with the current neighbors, it's still going on. And it's just ridiculous, other people around being, there's people down the hallway that play their music and TV way too loud. There's kids that sometimes just run around the floor, and of course, you can feel the vibrations through the floorboards and everything, so it's definitely the other tenants. But my biggest problem with living in apartments, though, is the maintenance staff. I cannot stand maintenance staffs in apartments because there's just like, oftentimes, and I'm not saying, I'm not lumping every maintenance staff into one, I'm just saying this is how what I've experienced in this building, like, they just have no boundaries. Like, they just, even when you tell them, when you specifically tell them in your lease, like, you do not have permission to enter my apartment without a 24-hour notice, they still come in. Like, they still come in. I mean, of course they knock and they let you know that they're there, but it doesn't matter. It's like, I want notice. I'm always busy. I'm either at work, and obviously while I'm at work, I don't want people coming into my apartment. When I'm not here, I don't think, there are some people out there that's okay for them. I'll never understand that. That would never be okay for me. I never let people into my apartment. I don't care who it is when I'm not here. Nobody is ever allowed to come in my apartment. So obviously I put in my lease, you got to give me 24 hours notice, and ever since I've lived here, I've been dealing with them coming into my apartment without giving me 24 hours notice, so much so that I actually had to keep a log, and I actually have logged with my manager 3 illegal entries. That's grounds for harassment, obviously, you know what I'm saying, but I've kept it kind of like cool because they haven't done it, you know what I'm saying? Well, guess what happened today, a little bit after I got home from work? Maintenance showed up at the door again, they knocked. I ignored it because I just got home. I was getting ready to take a shower. I was getting ready to get, undressed and into the shower and just relax for the rest of the day. And, oftentimes, when someone knocking at my door, whatever, usually it's maintenance, looking to ask me something, whatever, call me. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, no notice, no phone call or anything like that. Like, oftentimes they'll just show up. But this time, nobody was leaving a package at the door or anything. Once again, it was a member of maintenance having to come into my apartment, and he knocks twice, waits about 10 seconds, and then just comes in to the apartment. And, I looked into this and stuff, and it is legal for maintenance staff to do that in a case of emergency. If they consider it an emergency, they have the landlord's permission to just come in. But where I take issue with it is obviously everything that's happened in the past, when they did come in and it wasn't an emergency. And, like, I'm trying to, like, determine, right, like, what is an emergency? Like who is determining that this is an emergency? Who is determining that you need to be at my apartment right now? And that's where my trust is start to get spread thin with them. Because, like, obviously given the history with them, like coming in when it's not an emergency, well, how do I know this is an emergency? Nobody ever stated that it's an emergency. So once again, it's like, if you guys need to come in, you need to contact me. Like, where's my phone call? Where's my text message? Nope, you guys just show up at the door again, and you guys just come in again. And I can't stand living in apartments for that reason because, look, I know that, every housing authority and every apartment complex and stuff like that, they all have their own rules, and it's, from state to state and stuff like that. But we all have this 24-hour notice thing. That's pretty much universal in every apartment complex. That all the landlord and their staff always have to give the 24 hours notice because it's inconvenient, except during times of an emergency. And there's that gray area. See, there's that gray area. Well, who's determining if it's an emergency? And it's like, it starts to become a privacy issue after a while, because it's like, I pay them rent, right, to have this sanctuary, right? I pay them rent in order to have privacy in this apartment. If I want to walk across my living room floor naked in the middle of the day and not answer doors when somebody knocks, guess what? That's my choice. That's what I signed the lease for. That's why you guys can't come in here, because even though I'm living with other people in this big building, this is my house. This is my area. You can't just come in. Even when they're standing out there in the hallway, that's the equivalent of someone being out on the street and wanting to get into your apartment. The hallways outside my apartment are the street of my apartment, right? And so when someone enters from the outside, it's just like a very unsettling feeling. I don't care who they are. I don't care if you're a member of maintenance staff that works for my apartment. I don't know you. Don't come into my apartment. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just gets me so irritated, because it's like, I understand the rules, but it starts to become a privacy issue after a while. After a while, it's just like, what if I was, doing anything, again, like getting into the shower or something like that, doing something private in my apartment that I don't want other people to see. It's my decision not to open the door, and yet they have permission to open it if they deem it an emergency. And it's just like, it almost falls into like glorified harassment in a lot of ways. That people who live in apartments don't have the same rights as people who live in houses, because people who live in houses, people can't just come off the street. It doesn't even matter if someone owns a piece of land or something like that you're on. They can't just walk off the street and come into your house or knock on your door once, right, and then enter your apartment because people have or enter your house because people have their own locks. They have their own security. Why? Because it's their house. It's their sanctuary. It's their own area. So why are people who live in an apartment kind of being discriminated against? Saying that you guys have all the security as everybody else, but not really, because if we deem it an emergency, we can still just come into your apartment whenever we feel like it. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, we need to address that gray area. Even if it is an emergency, if you deem it some emergency, where's my contact? Where's my phone call? Where's my notification? Where's you have to give me some kind of time. I mean, again, what if I wasn't home? What would have happened if I wasn't home? Would he have come all the way into the apartment? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like these are questions that run through my mind. Security questions. Normal, humane security questions. So it's just, oh God, it just aggravates me so much. It gets me so angry, and I think it does need to be addressed a little bit. Is that we know that they have rules and stuff like that, but my privacy is also being altered. The privacy that you are promising me in your lease is also not really that secure, because you guys can just do whatever you want because this is your apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, throw that out there for today's video. That's what I'm feeling today, for today's vlog. Please, leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Have you guys ever gone through that? Do you guys hate, living in apartments for similar reasons? I'm sure that some of your stories might make me feel a little bit better there, because I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to get myself into a proper house. And then people won't bother me, you know what I'm saying? Because I just hate that, I just hate that level of security that you don't have, that that you don't have. It makes you so, edgy, it makes you wonder, oh, am I going to be in the middle of a project or something like that, in the middle of recording audio or something like that, and it's the best audio recording that I did, and I had done 16 takes up until that point, and bam, I finally nailed this audio take, and I'm right in the middle of the take, and dun 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 dun, oh, maintenance, oh, we're just going to come in. You know what I'm saying? It's it just makes me so unsettled. It just makes me so unsettled. It's just, when your privacy is there, but it's kind of gray. So yeah, go ahead and leave all your thoughts and opinions on that down below. Share all your stories from living in an apartment, and if you guys have similar tales as I do, I'd love to hear them. So leave all your thoughts down below, and as always guys, take care until the next time we meet, and I'll see you later.